there's been a lot of chatter in the news. Let's get to that to put present here. And there's been a lot of upheavals that have happened in the cricket board right now.
Yeah.
India's performance in Australia has been something that was unexpected. Um, and BCCI has come out and, like thrown a bunch of caveats,
Yeah.
dictats that have come out. I want to understand, does that really motivate the team, or does that actually take away from the team,
The problem with the Indian cricket team is that every single thing becomes news. Things that shouldn't even be in the media or shouldn't even be public are becoming public. So these sets of rules and caveat, even if the management felt that we want to put this in place, there should have been a channel with which it got in. We should have said, okay, we call Gambhir, we call Sharma, we said, what, we've seen these things. We think that if we implement these things, it'll help. Then on the first day when they meet at practice or a training camp or they travel, that management communicates it to this, and no one should have wind of this at all. This is healthy communication and healthy decorum.
Absolutely.
Teams break down when players learn something through the media. And historically, what I've seen is that there's too much privilege in the media. Too much. We're exposed to too much of information that we shouldn't really do. And the ramifications of that is, yes, your newspapers will sell and your social media will sell, but it's breaking the core,
The team spirit.
the team spirit. It's breaking that down. It's fragmenting that at a real core level. So this is the big problem. Now, whether we go into each one and say, what, this is correct, this isn't correct, I'm sure when you read it, you're surprised that some of those were rules because you would have expected that to be in place.
Yeah.
This is just the dynamic of how our Indian team sort of operates.
And I'm sure this must be happening in every country and every cricket board across the world. It's just that they do it under the wraps. What's your end goal? Your end goal is to get the best out of
Correct.
the team.
Correct.
And if you can implement that in a more subtle, a more compassionate manner,
Yeah.
the taking the seniors and getting their confidence and saying that, hey, let's
Yeah.
slowly make this a pattern
Yeah.
with how we function.
100%.
Rather than it being like, hey, from now onwards, tuck, 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 tuck. Human brain saying, you know what, hold on. Don't go machine gun blazing on me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're 100% right. And you got to feed that in. Like, for example, I'll give you another example from 2003.
Yeah.
When we got in there, Sachin, for example, had an ankle injury early in the tournament in there. Wasn't so much an injury that caused him pain, but he needed to get strapped. So as soon as we got at the ground, we went to the bus, he would go and he'd get all his strapping done. And sometimes it would take a while and the warm up would start and he would come in 5-10 minutes a little bit later because he was with the physio. And we noticed that when he was there from the start, the energy in the warm up was significantly different, right? So there was no rule to implement. It was just, we picked this up. We spoke to the physio, we spoke to the team. We said, okay, how can we align things? Or if he needs a little bit extra time, how can we do a little team huddle or a psych exercise or something that doesn't involve physical movement, wait for him to come, because we've seen such a powerful impact. Now, this is the right way to do about it, is to understand what is the impact of what we're doing and how. So with all of these rules, more importantly, I would be very keen to understand who noticed what was going wrong before you needed to put this rule in place. Like if you put something in place, it's to correct something. What was actually wrong that you were trying to correct?
Just that they had a line of bad performances.
A line of bad performance, because like I said, you and I are seeing the outcome. We have to distinguish it. Was it a bad win or was it a good loss?
Good loss.
Once we start to understand that, and the best people are the coach and captain to understand that, to determine that. Did we practice enough? Were there no distractions? Were we completely aligned? Did we understand pitch conditions? What could we have done? Was it just a simple difference between strategy and execution? We had a game plan. We needed to pitch the ball 10 feet in front of the popping crease. Unfortunately, we missed it 4 out of 6 balls. There's nothing wrong. The strategy was great. We just couldn't execute.
Absolutely.
This happens in sport.
The World Cup that happened, India won all matches.
Correct.
Finals, India, Australia. Everyone was very confident that India has had a lossless victory streak till now, and we're gonna ace it and we're gonna take the cup home. Australia comes in, 11-player team, plays like they're 22 players on the field, and they just take everyone by surprise. And Virat and And Rohit started getting a lot of slack from that, from the fans and the viewers. So is it right that they are getting slack for that? Or do you think that they took it a little casually, thinking that, oh, we are so senior now?
Firstly, I don't think they take it casually. I don't think that they definitely come in with the mindset of I'm going to be casual or be lackadaisical about that. For sure not. Could they do different things in preparation? The answer is always yes. Could they try to become fitter and more in a better position? The answer is yes. But fitness doesn't directly produce results in cricket.
Absolutely.
Okay. So for every coin, there's two sides to it. I definitely think if we've understood, like you've very clearly seen in some of the results, that where these two people are in a good mental health and are doing well, the team does well. So the question should be, what should we do to keep them in that great state? And how can we ensure that? Does it mean giving them more responsibility, or does it mean taking responsibility away from them? What does it mean to keep them in a good mental health?
And that could be specific to each.
Specific to each is very, very different, like 100%. And once we understand, what can keep them in good mental health, then we're giving them the best opportunity to thrive. Very, very important. Okay. And what happened in the World Cup, you gave a beautiful example, Australia. Australia had 2 losses in that World Cup. There were 2 times when they put a good team down and results weren't there, so they had to go back to the drawing board. When we have every win, I said this, by match 6, I was saying we're in trouble here because we're going to the knockout without ever being tested. You're right. Now, the ramifications of being tested in the round robin versus the knockout are completely different. Now, if we get tested and we don't have a contingency plan, we're done. Then we got right to the final and we still haven't been tested.
Yeah.
And this was really playing on and troubling me as well because, it's not just about being tested. It was that the middle order needed to know what it felt like to step up. At that point in time, they hadn't. We got to that point where they were really and truly not in a position where they had to lean in and step up, or a different contingency, because the psychology is very different. So that really concerned me. Australia were in that position. Australia have also have this beautiful way of constantly bouncing back because they know how to test themselves in various systems.
Yeah.
Okay. So coming back to Rohit and Virat, I really don't ever like to see them getting any flack and blame. I think, because it's unjustified.
I'm with you on this because I just feel like, hey, it's a bad patch. Everyone has gone through it.
100%.
There's not been one cricketing phase from Gavaskar to Sachin to anyone when they have not been through a bad patch.
Yeah. And
It's just that now social media is so active and so rampant that it's in your face.
why are we always looking for scapegoats is the question. Like, even if we win, you're looking at someone's performance. You're looking at this. It's a team sport. In a team sport, some people have good days, some have bad days. And the other thing I always highlight to the media is for every minute that an Indian player is practicing, his opponent is putting in that same minute.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So if everyone's doing the same quantum of work and everyone's at the same skill level and everyone's at the same fitness level, why are we expecting all results to always fall on our side? Why can't we, with decorum, sometimes give credit to the opposition for having played a great series, and we come back saying, okay, listen, Australia wasn't great for us, right? But every time we look for an excuse, it's disrespectful to our opponent because we're discounting the work that they've done. We make it seem like it was luck, but it wasn't. They worked really, really hard. And one of the best examples, I spent 6 years traveling on the ATP tour with Sanya, with Mahesh, with everyone. And one of the best examples is Rafa Nadal. When Rafa Nadal was ever, you can go onto YouTube, look at it, every time he was beaten, and in the press conference, they asked him anything, right, about himself, even if he was injured, he would always say, I lost. I don't want to talk about anything. He played a great game. He never gave a reason to deflect from what his opponent did. Because he said it's absolutely disrespectful. Injuries are part of sport. Poor performance is a part of sport. All of these things are part of sport. And when I talk about this here, I am deflecting from the work that he did, and that is unsportsmanlike.